They threw $100 at me. Now I'm back to take everything they have. I left home with $100 in my pocket. When I came back, I wasn't the son they wanted me to be. I was the billionaire they never expected. Here's my story. I was 22, fresh out of college with an engineering degree. And I had just been told by my father, George Blake, that I was worthless. He threw $100 at me, literally at my feet, and told me that's all I deserved. For context, the Blake family name is everything. We've been in the investment banking world for generations, and my father always said money was the only measure of a man's worth. My dream of being an engineer was dismissed as a foolish, and my decision to pursue technology over traditional finance was seen as a betrayal. My family had money, lots of it, but what I didn't have was their approval. My father's words, "Without the Blake name, you're nothing," would haunt me for years. But I had a plan. I wasn't going to use their money, their name, or their connections. I was going to build something on my own. On the day I left, I packed a suitcase, took the $100 my father threw at me, and walked out of the mansion. I didn't have a car. My father's name was on it. I didn't have a place to stay. My apartment was paid for by my trust fund, and I had my skills, my degree, and a vision. I bought a $40 bus ticket to Silicon Valley and used the rest of the money on a burger. Sitting in a greasy diner, I wrote 3 promises to myself. I would never use the Blake name. I would build something that would change the world, and when I returned, it would be on my own terms. What I didn't know then was that this $100 would turn into a billion-dollar journey. I was about to change the energy industry forever. But first, I had to survive in Silicon Valley with only a dream and $50. First update, Silicon Valley was nothing like I had imagined. I thought it would be a paradise for dreamers and innovators, but it was a tough, competitive world. My first night here, I slept on a bench in a park in Palo Alto, using my laptop bag as a pillow. I had $30 left after a coffee and bagel, and I was starting to wonder if I had made a mistake. But then I met Sophie. She was the barista at a local cafe, and when she saw me sleeping there with my laptop, she offered me a deal. She said I was going to get robbed if I kept hanging around, but she also saw something in me. Sophie asked me to fix their espresso machine in exchange for a place to sleep in the storage room. I fixed it in 20 minutes, and the owner gave me a part-time job. That job was my lifeline. While I worked during the day, I refined my energy storage designs at night using the cafe's Wi-Fi. Sophie would sometimes bring me pastries and help clarify my ideas. She even helped me explain my designs in a simpler way, asking questions that got me thinking in new directions. After a few months of working at the cafe and freelancing as a consultant, I had enough savings to rent a tiny room in a shared house, but I was still broke. I knew my energy storage system could change everything, but I needed funding, millions of dollars, something I didn't have. Then I met Lucas Chen, a startup entrepreneur who was impressed with my energy management solution. He introduced me to Dr. Sarah Wong, a Stanford researcher who believed in my designs. She gave me access to one of the top research labs in the world, and we spent months refining my idea. It was during those months, working multiple jobs and exhausting myself, that I finally saw the breakthrough. At 3 a.m. in the lab, I saw the test results. My design worked. It wasn't just a theory anymore, and that was the moment everything changed. Edit. Thanks to everyone who's been supportive so far. A lot of people have been asking how I kept going through all the hardships. Honestly, I didn't have a choice. I was either going to give up or prove them wrong. It's been a crazy ride, but I'm just getting started. Second update, things started moving fast after that breakthrough. With Dr. Wong's help, I was able to get meetings with several venture capital firms, but getting funding wasn't easy. 2 firms turned me down, saying my idea was too risky. But then Alexandra Martinez from Quantum Ventures saw something in my pitch. "Well, your technology could change the energy industry," she said, "but why should we trust a 23-year-old unknown?" I looked her in the eyes and said, "Because I've spent the last year proving impossible things are possible." Give me a chance to prove one more. They took a chance on me and invested $5 million in Nova Energy Systems, my new company. The money allowed me to move forward with hiring a small team of engineers and setting up our own facility. The work was grueling and there were failures at every step, but we kept pushing. We knew we were onto something big. 2 years later, after countless sleepless nights and technical challenges, we had a commercial-scale energy storage system ready for testing. When the results came in, they exceeded our highest expectations. Our system could store energy with 99.1% efficiency, nearly 3 times better than the best existing technology. The energy industry took note. Solar and wind power, which had been struggling with inefficiency, suddenly became a viable, economically superior option. Major power companies were desperate to integrate our technology. Nova Energy Systems was on the map, and we were only getting started. Edit. A lot of people are curious about my relationship with my family. I haven't spoken to them in years, but trust me, this journey wasn't just about proving myself to them. It was about proving to myself that I could succeed on my own terms. It's been hard, but it's worth it. Final update. Fast forward 3 years and Nova Energy Systems is worth billions. I've taken the company public and my stake in it is worth over $100 million. I built something from nothing and now it's time to return home. Not to reconcile, but to finish what my father started when he threw $100 at me. I learned that money isn't what defines a man. It's what he does with what he has, and I've done a lot with that $100. When I returned, I didn't go back as the prodigal son. I went back as the man who would take everything they tried to take from me. My father's company, Harrison and Sons, was on the brink of collapse. They were facing a hostile takeover attempt, and little did they know that firm was actually a subsidiary of Nova Energy Systems. I bought their company. I didn't do it for revenge. I did it for the lesson they taught me. I wanted to show them exactly what I was worth, not because of the Harrison name, but because of the person I had become. When I walked into the boardroom, I wasn't the disappointed son anymore. I was the CEO of the company that would take over theirs, and legacy ends here, I told them. My father was speechless. In the end, it wasn't about destroying them. It was about rebuilding everything they thought they had built and turning it into something that truly mattered. A company that would help solve the world's energy crisis.